last time I checked, and I see a number of plants in your lobby. That's very nice. But the last time I checked, I think humans are more evolved than plants. So I'm guessing it's probably closer to thousands of enzymes,
Yeah.
and this has all been suppressed. Again, the meme, what's the meme that runs medicine? You're anemic, you're a copper toxic. And it's like, it's so indelibly imprinted in our brain. And it's just the opposite, Steve. It's 180 degrees
Wow.
from that statement.
So can you give us some type of view? I mean, unless everybody should be doing an analysis of copper, but obviously children, that starts affecting their development. And we're just talking about the general here, and adults and females and those that exercise and those that don't. I know with magnesium, I take significant amounts of magnesium just because of how much I sweat and how much I exercise and just living in a city like Johannesburg. But give us sort
Yep.
of what people should be taking from a copper perspective, and should everybody be doing a copper analysis, getting their numbers?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, the book that I wrote is called Cure Your Fatigue. And people are supposed to be impressed with my wit because I put a box around the CU, which is a symbol for copper.
Mm.
And um, all conditions, it doesn't matter. There's 32,000 conditions in the Merck manual. All 32,000 start with cellular energy deficiency, every one of them. And they will affect different pathways and different tissue. But once the mitochondria start to power down, there's a downstream effect. People need to know that there's 40 quadrillion mitochondria in our body, that there's the average cell is 500 mitochondria, 500. So people are thinking, well, I remember my biology text in high school, it was like 1 or 2 mitochondria. Well, they didn't know that that was drawn by Walt Disney, and that the average liver cell has 2,000 mitochondria,
Yeah.
kidney cell, 4,000, heart cell, 10,000, mature egg in a woman's body, 600,000 mitochondria.
Yeah.
And there's certain brain regions, like the substantia nigra, has 2 million mitochondria.
Wow.
Well, see, when you know, again, the key phrase is missing information equals missing truth. Once you know those types of numbers, and then you find out about Paul Kobine's research in 2004 and 2006, that there's 50,000 atoms of copper in each mitochondria. Wow.
Wow.
Okay, so now we've just changed the game. And again, we're talking about atoms. We're not talking about milligrams, but still, these are big numbers that start to accumulate. And people that whole paradigm is not understood. There's only 2 paradigms of healing, as you know. There's attack the guest, and there's strengthen the host. Well, TCM is all about strengthening the host. That's been its gift for what, 4,000 years or more. What do the Chinese know? I mean, really. But the thing is, I've turned that phrase, attack the guest, strengthen the host, into ignore the enemies, ignite the energy. And I think it's important for people to realize that energy is what drives our immune system. Energy is what drives our response to our environment. And if we can't mobilize energy to stress, that's where all the problems are. And it was Mark Hyman who said it best. Stress is the body's inability to make energy for the mind to respond to its environment. And there's nothing more stressful, Steve, than not being able to turn oxygen into water to release the energy molecules. And that's the obligate transaction that has to take place. And it's happening in complex 4 of the mitochondria. And it's copper driven. There's 3 copper atoms in complex 4. And nobody knows that it's a 2-stroke engine, and the downstroke creates hydrogen peroxide, and the upstroke is what creates 2 molecules of water. Well, wow, maybe that's where all the problem is, right?
Mm.
And so, in terms of a starting point for people, I think the people who are following you want to feel better. They want to have more energy and deal with their stress. Well, in order to do that, I think it would be smart to know what their mineral status is. And, I cobbled together markers called the Full Monty Iron Panel. And it's just a great way for people to begin to understand the macro direction of their minerals, especially magnesium and copper and iron and zinc. And just a quick comment, people who believe that the zinc copper ratio has validity, you need to think about that again, because they have no validity to each other. All the great scientists and clinicians back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s were studying copper and iron. Zinc wasn't even on the radar screen. That's just all modern